All right. On that note, let's get into it, Rob. And let's start with the NFL, which is scheduled to start July 28th, training camps. Quarterbacks and rookies, of course, are supposed to be there earlier, but they got some trouble in paradise. The players this weekend started sending out tweets. Like, obviously it was planned. Several of the star players and players in general sent out tweets, hashtag we want to play. And they put it on the owners, Rob. They or in the league. They said, look, can we get some protocol? Can the brothers get a little update on what is going on health-wise? And I tell you, obviously, the most powerful one, Rob, was Russell Wilson. I want to play, he said, but my wife is pregnant.
No, and
remember,
know what?
they're not in a bubble. It's not the NBA. Yeah, go ahead.
I was going to say, and he's right. What is going on? How come, Chris, we're on the edge of the NBA with the bubble and what they put together? We're on the edge of baseball. They're all ready to go, play games. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs start August 1st. Everybody's in play.
Yep.
And they don't have instructions or protocol for the players to understand what it is they're going to do and what happens if somebody tests positive and how often a test is going to be. Why do they have to go, Chris, to social media to air their dirty laundry and beg the NFL and Roger Goodell, the commissioner, to give them some structure, to tell them what's going on so that they can move forward? If I'm Russell Wilson with a baby on the way and a pregnant wife, I'm not going anywhere, Chris. I'm not going to training camp until they spell it out for me. I'm not going to put my wife or my baby in harm's way. No way, no how.
I'm with you. And this is bizarre. I mean, they have had more time
than anybody.
Right? Baseball was ready to start, and they got sidetracked. Basketball was in session, and they got sidetracked. Football, you've been off since January or February.
And you've seen everything going on.
Yes.
Why haven't you come up with a plan?
There seems to be only one explanation, Rob. And football, and let me just throw this out. Because football had really gained a lot of social capital, I believe. I'm not saying they had, gotten away from all of their past issues and things, Colin Kaepernick, so on and so forth. But with the draft, remember how successful the draft was?
They moved on. They were able to pull it off.
That. Yes, and people thought Goodell, they saw a side of Roger Goodell, the commissioner, that they hadn't really seen before. I think it helped his image a little bit. And then, of course, with the Black Lives Matter, when the players did push them, but they came out with a strong statement, at least Roger Goodell did, with a strong statement of we support Black Lives Matter. We're committed to tearing down systemic racism. They committed $250 million more to, over the next 10 years to fight systemic racism. So they did some things that I thought were helping them out, Rob. And then this makes it look like you take your players for granted.
And that's spot on, Chris. This is the only way that you can look at it is that why do players and the union have to go to social media to beg for, and even though you have to put the notion out that you want to play. You're players. That's what you do for a living.
Right.
I'm serious. This is it's like ridiculous, Chris. No, we want to play, but we need to know what's going on. Can you tell us what to do? We don't know what to. That's what it sounds like. I just can't imagine, this happening with the NBA or Major League Baseball or the other leagues where they need guidance. The players are asking for guidance. And today I know that they agreed, Chris, on some testing.
COVID testing every day.
Right, but there's still some other stuff that needs to go on. What happens if somebody tests positive? What is the procedure? How long are they going to be taken away from the group? All these other things that they need to figure out and find out. With training camps opening up all over NFL America in the next 7-8 days, why in the world are we just getting to this point?
And I think, Rob, I mean, look, like you said, the other leagues are doing it. If you test positive, you're quarantined for 2 weeks. It shouldn't be that difficult. I mean, you've got the baseball example, the basketball example, the hockey example.
But you got to put it down on paper.
The soccer example,
right.
which, okay, they got plenty of money, plenty of time, plenty of manpower to do it. What are they waiting for? I don't get it. It makes absolutely positively no sense. And of all the leagues, Rob, that should be ahead of the curve, we gave you one reason they should be ahead of the curve. They have more time than anybody else. But also, their sport is the most, in this sense, it's the most dangerous in general because of the contact. But in this sense, it is also the most dangerous because baseball, there's a level of social distancing to baseball in general. You're socially distanced when you're playing, you know? And so you got that. It's you know, so there's that part. And then basketball is in a bubble, right? So they're safer than most sports. Football, I mean, the collision aspect of the sport, it is, I mean, every single play, you're in each other's face, you're on top of each other. The locker room, the number of players, you're not in a bubble. Like, it could be a petri dish for this type of thing. Hopefully not, but it could really, more than any of the other sports, the football players have the dangerous, most precarious situation. And so they should be out in front more so than even the other sports, I believe.
Right, because of the nature of the game, Chris.
Yep.
And we just talked, we already know saliva, spit, sweat, all that's going to be flying in a football game,
on
right?
every play.
Right, and we're on top of each other. It's impossible not to have that stuff make contact with you, right? Some way, somehow. Your hands, your face, your body, I don't know. I just thought it was so strange that the union had to, like, hey, can you guys put this stuff out on social media? Because it was organized. This wasn't willy-nilly. This was organized.
Guys. Right.
Why couldn't the union, DeMorris Smith, pick up the phone and talk to Roger Goodell? We need protocol, right?
Yeah. It's bizarre. You're right. And for them to have to do that, you're right. It just doesn't seem, what is going on? I don't get it. And like I said, it's been relatively speaking, it's been a good summer for the NFL, and they dropped the ball on this one. So let's see what the listeners think. Does this public negotiation between the NFL and the Players Association prove once again that the league, the Shield, doesn't really care about player safety?
Let's do it. All right, let's start with Bob in Florida. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Bob?
Hey, good evening, guys. Thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
Let me start off by saying I'm not a fan of Goodell. I'm not a hater, but I'm not a fan. He has been viewed as controversial. He can be seen as polarizing. So I think with his track record, the psychology of where he's at, I think he thinks he may as well just sit on the sidelines here. To draw a line in the sand and implement policy where I fully believe the players are going to become infected, I think he doesn't want to receive that type of backlash. He doesn't want to be seen in the public eye for that. So I think he's caught between a rock and a hard place right now. I don't think he can make a good decision either way.
So, Bob, you're saying he's trying to stay out of the way, like, don't blame me. He's the commissioner of the league.
Well, I was going to say, there's no avoiding the responsibility.
It's going to be on him, Chris, no matter what.
Yes.
If this is a disaster, it's going to be on him.
And he'd be better served coming up with an extensive plan. Like, if the NBA, something goes wrong, I don't think people are going to kill Adam Silver. Because doctors have come out, heck, players and executives have been coming out like, man, the NBA has really done a good job.
Well, he's also put on the record, too, Chris, that if it got crazy, they would stop the league. Stop. He's already said that. So it's not like, oh, well, we're going to play no matter what or whatever. No, he said it.
If that's Goodell's MO, that can't be his MO because there's no running away from this.
Not at all.
Yeah.
Colton, Colton in New Mexico. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's happening?
Chris, Rob, how you gentlemen doing this evening?
Man, we're doing
man.
great.
How are you?
I could complain. I want to give a damn.
I got it.
All right.
I am kind of mixed emotions on this whole thing. They could have acted a lot sooner, but with the negotiations that I think that they've started to conclude, hopefully here within the next couple of days they'll conclude. They've kind of given the players a little bit of what they wanted, daily testing for the first couple of weeks at least, trying to work with them a little bit because this is not just a business situation. This is a health situation. This is a life situation.
Yes.
So I think they're kind of getting there, but they're not handling it like a normal business would. They got to try to make their money. I understand that, but let's realize people's lives are on the line. Families are on the line.
They haven't even said
Thanks for
anything
the call.
about
Appreciate
fans
it.
yet.
No.
Right?
Some
The
teams
Giants
are
and the
acting like the
Jets
Giants and Jets are
just
out
came
because of the
out.
state of New Jersey said that there won't be gatherings of more than 500 people. So it really wasn't them. Some of these other states and people, I know the Green Bay Packers have come out, Chris. They didn't wait for Wisconsin. They said there'll be no fans at the games this year in Green Bay. They've already come out with the Packers. So
what is California waiting for? Aren't they going backwards?
We're not getting into that new stadium this year.
Right. Aren't they going backwards in terms of the way everything is?
The governor's saying he made a mistake by opening up too soon. Let's go to Mark in Sacramento, speaking of California. You're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Mark?
What's going on, gentlemen? And we also have about 42 million people, and some of them didn't adhere to the guidelines, and that's part of why California has a problem.
I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, California was doing great.
The governor was doing a pretty good job, but people weren't listening.
Exactly. Hey, I personally think that, like, we already know who these owners are. They've proven who they are millions of times. Man, this is about the money. And they will put it over health. If they didn't put this over health, why do they keep pushing for more games?
Right.
We've talked about that, Rob.
Chris has been on beating that drum.
Yep.
Right.
If you cared about their health, this sport is treacherous. We all know that. Why are you pushing for more games? And you know what this comes down to, Rob? This is about the players don't want any preseason games, and the owners want their two. That's money. Especially if they can get fans there. If they don't have fans,
but it's also local
TV.
But it's local TV money.
Yeah.
I mean, Chris, those are paid for. You know what I mean? It is money, and those games for years have always been made money off of, despite people not loving them. All right, let's go to Marty real quick.
So this afternoon, Adam Schefter did report that the NFL's willing to give up the games.
Okay.
So they must be getting close to something. I mean, I think that was a big sticking point.
I don't know why it had to go on social media though. That's my biggest thing.
Right.
Why couldn't they just meet or talk together and get this thing hashed out? Marty in Kentucky, you're on the Odd Couple Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Marty?
Hey, fellas, I know you're short on time, so I'm going to get straight to the point. We all already know the owners about the money. They run it like a business. It's all about the money to them. And I think what this does prove is the players' union and their representatives have gotten very intelligent. I think this is the right way to approach it because the public is where the money comes from, and they went through the public. They let the public see it, and this is something all the public can relate to because everybody in the world is dealing with the same thing. So I thought it was a very intelligent way of approaching it with the social media instead of behind closed doors. Now they got the pressure of the public.
Right, on the player side. Yeah, I think it was smart for the players. But the fact that it's gotten to this point is what we're saying. Why did it even get to this point? But I get that. You're right. At this point for the players, now we're all talking about it. Fans are like, what in the world is going on? So, yeah, I get that. All right.